Hello and welcome to all you Aquarians. This is your yearly horoscope for the whole, for the whole year of 2018. I was so curious to know what's going to happen with all those shift of those planets shifting into other signs. And I'm a bit early, I know, but I'm sure you're curious enough to watch this video. So this is of course a very general horoscope, so if you're very curious what's going to happen for Aquarius in general, for my sign, if you have a sun in Aquarius or an ascendant or a moon, what are the tendencies, what are the themes of that year? This video might be interesting for you, so let's get started. Of course, the very important thing about Aquarians, and you're going to be a bit in the spotlight next year still, because the nodes are in your signs, in Aquarius and in Leo. So the emphasis will be the same as last year in that respect, that focusing on someone else, focusing on what in your one-to-one relationship on that other person, and doing the work to reach out to the other person is still very important for you Aquarians. So it's not the time for an Aquarian to sit down and, whether you're single or not, to just wait until other people come to you. No, it's the other way around. It's about you approaching other people. That is that you're going to grow the fastest and develop very quickly. So that's still the same as last year. But the big shift, of course, and I'm going to look at romance, work, finance, health. The biggest part, of course, is Uranus, the Uranus transit as from May of 2018 into a very important area of your life, which is the fourth house, which is in Taurus. So this doesn't happen quite often, and why is it so important for you? A lot of your key areas of your life are going to be activated in 2018. So it's not only the node kind of stuff, but it's also that Uranus over there coming into an area of life which is the deepest core of the core of the core of you. It's your emotional well-being. It's your home, it's your roots, it's what you're all about. And it's entering that fourth house, opposing your midheaven. So for a lot of Aquarians, the balance between work and home, I must say work and home, is going to be very, very at the front of your mind, actually. And a lot of people think that when they read some astrology books, Uranus entering the fourth house is very unsettling. And to a point it is, because Uranus is the planet of, is very erratic, it wants to break boundaries, it wants to do new things. And if you mix that with the most secure part of your horoscope, or a part of the horoscope that wants to be secure, emotionally secure, of course, that has a bit of an unsettling feeling. But we always have to take into account the whole horoscope. And the whole horoscope gets support, this Uranus, from Saturn, because Saturn is also going to be in an earth sign as from actually already the end of December of 2016. So and Saturn will trine Uranus, so that's a whole different story. So yes, there could be some unsettling situations in the home work area, but it's controllable. It's a kind of a balance between the old and the new. It's not like breaking away all the old in order for the new to come. No, it's like breaking only away from what is not good, and keeping what is good, and then exploring for some new things. So that is a big difference for the Aquarians, that they do have the support of this Saturn. You will feel this the most if you, the early born Aquarians, so the ones who are born in January, but all Aquarians will feel this energy, of course. So when Uranus comes into the fourth house, it immediately affects the opposite house, which is the 10th house. So you may be sure that home and work, it will not be business as usual. There will need to be some changes done there. And if you embrace that, it could be one of the most interesting periods of your life. When I had Uranus entering my 4th house, I started to do astrology at home. You know, you see how amazing astrology is, because Uranus is the planet of astrology. The 4th house is home, doing astrology at home. And yes, it was a bit unsettling, it was a bit insecure, it was bringing at home aliveness, because that's also Uranus is very alive, it's very energetic. So, but on another level, someone could just give birth to a child, and it's a very Uranus kind of child, for instance, that is very wild and very, you know, you do a lot of things with that child at home, or it brings a lot of excitement in your life. And it breaks up the routines, so to speak, into your home life. So it could be as simple as that. It doesn't always have to be so dramatic as in the books, like you're going to lose your home or lose parents and all of that. No, that's only a very tiny little percentage of the whole population who will have that Uranus in that 4th house. So actually, in a nutshell, changes when it comes to the balance of work and home. Maybe some of you are going to work more from home, or maybe others are going to break it a little bit down, to work a little bit less, and to spend a little bit more time at home. So, but actually Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is in Scorpio, another key area of your life in the 10th house. So I'm not quite sure if you're going to, the people who do work, going to work less. No, maybe differently, and maybe it's going to get more meaning, but at the same time it's going to be a bit busier at home. So that's in a nutshell. So for Aquarians, very interesting when it comes to relationship, still very karmic kind of relationships, in that respect that reaching out to others could really, you could benefit from that. When it comes to work, there's and home, there's definitely a shift. There's definitely more attention towards changes. It's not going to stay the same as it is now, with that Uranus there and Jupiter trying to give more meaning in your work. It's very contradictory. Jupiter in the 10th house is finding more meaning in work, maybe more work, and then having restlessness at home. It's actually not contradictory. It's actually very nowadays energy, you could say. But you will sort it out, because you've got the support of Saturn, which is in your 12th house. So Saturn in the 12th house is actually, Saturn is in its joy, as we speak in traditional astrology. And that means that having Saturn in your 12th is like cleaning the closet, so to speak. So it's what's not working anymore, what's not for you. If you haven't worn it for 5 years, you just have to throw it away. It's not, metaphorically speaking, you're doing that in your unconscious mind. So therefore Saturn in the 12th can be quite rewarding, and especially when it's making a trine in your with Uranus in your 4th house. So these are very deep emotional houses. So for Aquarians, it's going to be quite emotional, quite deep, and a lot of patterns from the past that are not working for you anymore. You're cleaning them up, and that's basically a good thing. But mostly that is quite energetically not easy to do. But now, because of that trine energy, it's quite easy to do. And especially around August, September time, it's a good time to do that cleaning up thing, literally or figuratively. It's a good time to do some cleanup. Now, what else? When it comes to romance, as I said, quite positive for Aquarians. Parts of yourself kind of dissolve, and kind of you kind of understand that all parts of you, when they're not working anymore, you need to let them go, and you've got the opportunity to do so with the South Node in your sign. And when it comes to finances, Normally you've got Neptune there in the second house, but now it's making a beautiful trine with your 10th house. So it could be when you are an Aquarian that had a bit of a rough time financially, it could be better in 2018. And that is because of your work, and that is because when your work has to do with Jupiter, which is expansion, travel, foreigners, teaching, learning, you explaining stuff to other people, publishing, all these kind of things, all the things that expands the mind, basically, you could gain more worth, more self-worth. Although Neptune in the second house, the more you attach to physical material stuff, the less it's good. So it's better to detach yourself a little bit. Of course, you do have to make a living, and I'm certainly not saying, money is not important. We're living on planet Earth, so we need to be able to pay our bills. But it could come a little bit easier next year because of the work that you do. So that's financially. And there's also Pluto in the 12th house, so it's quite busy in your 12th house. You're doing a lot of cleaning up of the old karma there, and that Pluto is very good in interacting with Jupiter and Neptune, and that's the magic that you're having. So everyone will have a bit of magic in their life, and that is because these beautiful trines and sextiles with Jupiter, Pluto and Neptune, which is in my point of view a bit of magic. It's in water signs. You don't have to do that much of effort, and for you that will be in the work area. The work area will be a bit more coming towards you. You don't have to put so much effort yourself, collectively here, and also on a level of doing the cleaning up and doing all that karma stuff that I talked about. It can come quite magical. That, hey, that wasn't so bad, that wasn't so difficult, because again, normally when you read, Saturn in the 12th house can be a bit heavy, but again, you've got to see the whole picture, and the whole picture says here that it doesn't need to be that heavy, that Saturn over there, because it's well aspected. So Aquarians, all in all, quite an interesting year, but quite some changes that are going on that mainly have to do with how you juggle that home work area of life, which is one of the most difficult things to do, but it's a process. You have to go through it. You can't just say, yeah, now from one day to another it all has changed. You've got plenty of time to do so, dear Aquarians. I wish you a very good year. Thank you so much for watching. If you want a personal reading, get in touch, and I see you soon. Bye bye.